I'm Katie Arroyo.
And I'm Laura Manasowicz.
And this is Pinky Promise, a podcast about growing up. I think we've been recording in the same room and we didn't nail it as well as we just nailed it.
You thought that one was good? I kind of loved it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll wait to hear it.
It's going to be great. Yeah, so guys, welcome back to Pinky Promise, everyone's favorite podcast about all the awkward and terribleness of growing up, plus some of the amazingness. And this week I'm so excited, we have a really special guest. We have a comic, Jay Whittaker. Hey, Jay.
Hey, what's up? Honestly, that shit was masterful, what y'all just did. I have seen so many people screw up on Zoom and not sync up, and that was... It was very, very close. I was like, oh, snap. Do they share an apartment? What is going on? Is this a townhouse situation? What
we knock through the walls so we know when to start.
Yeah. I do think for my birthday in January, I'd like a Pinky Promise intro master cut of just all the ups and downs.
I love
trying
it.
to say that at the same time.
And the best part was, so until a couple weeks ago when we recorded in the same room, I was never trying to sync it up and Laura was always trying to sync it up. So we were on such I was like, yeah, I'll bang it out real fast so then Laura has time to come in after. And she was like, I'm trying to catch up to you. And then I slowed it down so Laura could come in fast. And she was like, no, I'm trying to match you. I was like,
for something we do weekly, we've never talked about it.
We've never talked about it.
I feel like this is going to sound weird in post. It's going to sound way off. Katie starts talking and then 30 minutes later, Laura comes in
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
my favorite podcast game is, do I have a lag today? And anybody's guess. It's usually yes. The guess is usually I do.
Today sounds good. Sounds good.
Today sounds good.
But yeah, this is such a fun week for us because we love hearing people's horror stories of growing up. It's my favorite thing. But we invited Jay to come on the podcast because he's super, super funny. And I sent him, as I usually do, a list of potential growing up topics that we could talk about. And Jay was like, I could literally talk about every single one of these topics. And I also don't really didn't hate high school. And we were like, that's it. That's what we're talking about. We knew they were out there. I'm a fellow non-hater of high school. I don't think it was the greatest thing that ever happened, but I also it was fun. So
that's the thing is I'm not out here as I said earlier, I'm not before we were recording, I'm not still pulling up to the quad, and in a Ford Focus, blaring some Forgot About Dre to let everyone know I had a Letterman's jacket at one point, but no, I legit had a good time in high school. It was a lot of self-discovery. I moved from Los Angeles to Orange County, and so I was still adjusting to that and just being around, going from private school. I was at a private school with primarily Black and Latino students and Asian students, and then going to a public white school, public white, but affluent area, upper middle class. So it was it was a weird move just from, and a lot of cultures, not just not just ethnicity, but also class and jobs and so it was just a lot of adjustment, but I was along for the ride, and
How old were you guys when you moved?
So my pops, he moved me so my parents split when I was, I don't know, I can't even remember. I feel like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 maybe was the time. I don't know. The Secret of the Ooze, I feel like that was those were the time. I don't know, maybe a little bit after that.
Was it pre-high school? Was it middle school time?
Yeah. No,
okay.
this is maybe kindergarten, second grade. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're talking. Yeah, I'm older than you think. And so I stayed there through. I was with my mother through 6th grade, and then my father got a promotion, moved out to Orange County. So I was with him from 7th through 12th.
Okay.
So from middle school to high school with dad, K through 6 with mom.
Yeah.
So a lot of nature versus nurture, and depending on the parent, it could have been nature or nurture or a fucking tornado. It doesn't matter. Like,
Now, was your Orange County High School, like, did you have the big, like, outsidey things? Because I think Orange County Public High School, I think every teen movie high school with, like, why are they allowed to be outside so much?
Oh my God. Yeah. We had all the lockers were outside. It was
crazy.
And like, the quad was like a quad, and it had a senior hill. Like that's where all the seniors hung out. And like there was a hierarchy. There was cliques. It was if like I go back and I think about it, I was like, oh my God, like there were 100% clique. Like it looked like a Sum 41 video, like just straight up.
Yeah.
It was all that, because this is Orange County. We're talking about DMX at like his peak. You know what I mean? We're talking prime DMX, and we're talking like the like emo wave coming.
I was gonna say like prime Britney Spears and prime what's it called? Like Dashboard Confessionals.
Oh yeah, screaming infidelities. All that shit. Like we're talking all of that at the and I like Rough Riders anthem, like Method Man, Redman, like oh my God, like it was just Eminem, all that. It was just, you could see
happening.
All of it was happening. So it was a different time. We didn't have MySpace. Did we? Fuck, I don't know.
I think MySpace was like around the corner.
It was around the corner. We were still on AIM. We were still on AIM. Yeah. So it was that time. That's the era I grew up in.
Right.
But so like I for a long time I lived in an area where the public schools were so poorly funded that a lot of students go to private school. So like where I grew up, it was like what your average suburban area. So if someone went to a public school, or a private school, we were like, "Ooh, you're fancy! Like, why are you so fancy?" And then I moved to when I moved to Massachusetts, it was like people were like, "Oh no, you have to like send your kid to like private school, or they won't get access to whatever certain things that like." I'd be like, "Oh, that just like came with our regular high school experience," and they're like, "Oh no, you have to like find a private school to send them to." So was your school something like that, or was it like more of an affluent private school?
I mean, well, okay. So I went to a regular high school, and Mission View High School, home of the Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez, home of CNN news anchor Breonna Keeler,
and Jay Whittaker.
And almost didn't graduate Jay Whittaker. We'll get to that story later. But it was kind of a regular high school, but there were other upper high schools, but like everyone was doing well economically. The average, I would say the median income of, we're talking about software engineers, a lot of other what are other white nerd jobs? I don't know, but like that a lot of tech jobs. Well, okay, and not all right. That now I'm getting
interior
problematic.
Designers.
Yoga instructors.
It's just an area where the public school's gonna suck.
I lived in an area where Pinterest would have been birthed. Like I feel like if Pinterest was around back then, it would be prime Pinterest shit.
Right.
So we were doing okay. I mean, my dad he worked really, really hard. Went through a series of layoffs. He worked in finance and banking and everything, and he went through a series of layoffs. But he was very, 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 very like he had a hustle for everything, and he just wanted me to be in a better situation. And so I'm super grateful for that. And my mom was like really instrumental in just supporting that. So I mean, it was like she understood that, like, hey, he needs to be with his dad right now, and like it was so like I can't complain. I'm lucky. I have great parents that really were supportive and had to really co-parent even when it was hard. So yeah. Yeah,
So
this is
you
about to get. I'm too upbeat for this shit. Oh my
no,
god.
it's all
No,
right.
it's good.
all right. So you showed up in 7th grade, which is peak just try to survive in school years.
Yeah.
Were you're a new kid in 7th grade. Did friends happen easily? Were you like, what can I do to make people like me? How did that all happen?
So my dad did a boss move. This is some boss shit. Like, all right, for all you parents out there, if you're moving neighborhoods, put your kid in summer school before the school year starts. He did that shit, and so that allowed me to make some friends and like get at least adjusted so that the first day of school, I'm not just showing up,
It's not
waiting
as
to get bullied.
overwhelming. Plus, I feel like kids are just not as shitty in summer school. I feel like
Right.
like there's not
Yeah.
as many people to
There's
impress.
kind of an
So
equalizer.
yeah, it's really just
Right.
like, who do I actually like hanging out with instead of like, who do I look cool in front of or whatever.
Right. Right. It was summer school was very low pressure because they couldn't make fun of you because I'm like, dog, you here too. So either one, you're a fucking nerd. Two, your parents don't have good daycare, like a
Yeah.
childcare situation, or three, you're dumb as shit and you have to be here. Like, it's one of those three. So at the end of the day, all three of us were lonely. Didn't matter who you were. And so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I got involved into a computer class, and I did like some math because I'm terrible at math. And I just met friends that way. And I was in Miss Matsumoto's class. Shout out to Miss Matsumoto. She was cool. She was really nice to me. And all we did was drink Jostas and have fucking play Oregon Trail.
You were
honestly,
living.
I was fucking, and so 7th grade, I went to
What a
Los
great
Lisos Junior High, home of the Lobos. And since I lived in Mission Viejo, California, where there was a heavy Hispanic influence with the mascots. So Los Lisos Lobos was my junior high. My high school was Mission Viejo Diablos. So Wolves, Diablos, that shit's fucking metal as hell. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm with the shit, bro. Let's get it. So, why am I so upbeat about this shit? This is crazy.
It's okay because I'm weary of adults who like get misty eyed thinking about it. Like, I think you can be like, it was cool, we did it. But if you're like, I still wish I was there. That's
no. Like, I laugh a lot at myself because I think of how much, because growing up in Los Angeles, where you're surrounded by Black and Hispanic, mostly that was your demographic, and then moving out to a predominantly white demographic, I had to and I shit you not, I watched MTV religiously for the entire summer, during that summer school, because I didn't know. All I knew was Saved by the Bell, Kelly Kapowski, fucking Boy Meets World, all of that shit. And so I had to, I didn't want to I wanted to be myself.
Yeah.
But I knew that junior high school and high school was about being popular. So I was like, oh my God, I guess I have to be popular or I have to fit in. So
did you feel did you feel aware that there was going to be a difference and you were like, all right, I have to prepare for this difference?
Yeah, I knew there was going to be a culture shock. I knew there was going to be dumb questions about what's a do-rag and just awkward shit, listening to awkward and awful shit, listening to white kids, really get into Wu-Tang and drop the N-word and have to address it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's another thing. Wu-Tang was fucking huge at this time.
Yeah.
Huge. And so I'm hanging out with white kids that I was just like, can you just not say, oh yeah, the OJ trial too. Another fucking thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was just a weird time. Sorry, I didn't. No one should get that excited when bringing up the OJ trial. So like,
And it was the OJ.
Visceral memory of my 6th grade teacher like wheeling the TV cart in on the verdict day, and it was like, this is for you, but you're gonna like flip it around so that you can say it's for us, and we're just hyped that there's a TV in the room
nobody
right
cares.
so, like,
no, it was so it was just all of that going on, and I mean just I just wanted to get out and meet new people, because I did have bad experiences at my previous school.
Did you?
Yeah, K through 6. I did have bad experience. Like around 3rd grade, I just didn't really fit in. You know, I was big into comic books. I was big into every kind of music because my dad was a DJ as well on the side. And so I grew up listening to a lot of punk. I grew up listening to a lot of Frank Sinatra, The Doors. I grew up listening to a lot of different kind of music. And, you know, black kids didn't skateboard back then. I mean, like, sorry, Lupe Fiasco. I was doing it way before you. So shut up. You know?
Yeah.
And I was into like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, and Magic the Gathering, and
you were
all that
preparing for this white high school.
I feel like, which is kind of sad. Like I think about that, and I'm like, God damn it! Like, I don't know. You know, it's really hard. I've always struggled. Like, I look back on my high school life and I laugh at it because I was a goofball. But also, I'm like, damn, and some people might be listening to this, and be like, man, this dude. You know, I've been called every different type of name in the book from both cultures, and I'm like, I just wanted to be me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And like whoever was gravitating towards that, whoever was rocking with me, and I was rocking with them, cool. That's how I hung out with people. Yeah. Like if you thought I was weird and quirky for you know, really trying to figure out who should be in the Spider-Man Sinister Six, like. If that wasn't your jam, then I just wasn't fucking with you. But I still was like down with sports. I'm a huge sports guy, and I was really into girls, and I was just always trying to make people laugh and de-escalate tension, because that's just kind of been my MO. I hate seeing people fight. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I think middle school. Like it just took me a long time to figure out the rules are dumb. Like the rules of middle school are dumb and don't matter. Like you could like rap music, or you could like, you know, Bush and Nirvana and alternative music. But in my head, I was like, well, I don't think you're allowed to like both, because you have to like fit into a label. And then it'd be like, I think I like the song, but do I have to like it in secret so no one knows that I like this song? Yeah, and it's like, well, you're 12. There's like you have the rest of your life.
You're gonna like about dumb so shit. Many songs.
You can like 2 songs.
Exactly. It's not like people think middle school and high school is like fucking prison. You have to join a gang and you have to get jumped. Like you have to like be protected by people that like Coheed and Cambria. Like it's like no.
Yeah, no, but that's what it is. I remember like I think I was so afraid of not getting accepted by the gang of my choosing or whatever, like my little prison gang. So I went the route of like, I'm gonna I deliberately tried to get called a freak like every day. Like that was my thing, was like, I'm cooler than all you guys, so I'm gonna dress differently, even though I'm dressing differently the same as these other people. But like, I was like wanted to just be I tried to like as many things as possible as like a statement, I think, where I thought I was really like saying something.
Right.
But I think that's what it is when you go into middle school or even into high school. I think a lot of people, are, like you said, they're just so afraid. They want to feel protected by a group of friends. So they're like, I just have to find what's one thing that I like a lot. I'm going to find someone that does that.
Right.
And some people are after that unwilling to explore like anything else. And you're like, no,
like,
you can
I'm
like
not
so
the
many
one
things.
that's being made fun of. Great.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. I'm only going to do this for the rest of my life or until I'm 16 or whatever. But like, I'm not the topic of who's getting made fun of in the lunchroom. I've done it.
You're like, I've done my job.
I've done my job. I'm good.
And I just saw it as like, why the hell is everyone so separated? You know, and so I would just I know for a fact throughout high school, and like I just was that person that was always just like, I'm gonna go fuck with the band geeks because they were like some of my first friends.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna fuck with the drama. Like I was in theater. I was also in audiovisual. I ran track. I did football.
Yeah.
I was on student council. Like I bounced around a lot. And so, cause I just didn't care. I was like, no, I moved here. This is home now.
Yeah.
So I want to, and it's kind of, in a weird way, is like, even now I'm still that same person. Like I've taken gigs in places where I'm like, where the hell am I going? And I'm like, well, I just want to see what I'm always curious and trying to meet and engage with new people and engage with a new audience or whatever. So I guess maybe that's where it comes from. I don't know, but
did you have a senior superlative?
What's that?
Did you have a senior superlative?
One in middle school and one in high school.
What were you voted?
Both in both middle school and high school, I was voted most spirited.
Oh.
I don't know what that means. I don't even know what that means.
I think it means what you just said. Like you're passionate and you'll do anything and you just are curious and want to explore, and that's probably like the best one. Yeah.
I was just always into some wacky shit. Like we would during track and field, I was team captain of the sprint team. So we had like 6 members of the team. Yeah, you're captain of your jumpers, your long distance guys, like your vaulters, and your throwers. Like there was like I think 5 or 6 captains, and I was a captain of sprinters. And like we would do like crazy rituals beforehand. We would sing like all these Method Man and Redman songs, a lot of back and forth shit, like call and response stuff. We would put Icy Hot on our balls right before, so we'd run because we thought it would make us run faster. Fucking stupid. And this is a real thing that we did. Like I feel like I should check on like the majority of my teammates now and just be like, hey, do y'all have like testicular cancer? Like, are you guys good? Yeah, are we good?
No one's still doing it, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Stopped, right?
I don't know, but we did almost win state. Like, fucking, like I'm not saying. Like we won a lot of gold that year. Orange County Championships, 2001. Like fucking, you know the fucking game. You know?
I'll Google it.
Fucking wow. That shit's yeah. We were just always up to some shit. Like I would wear so the little tank top shirts. The A shirts. You know, like the like undershirts. I would wear those to school, like, but just they had different colors. I had a red, like I found like all my dad's old clothes one day, and he had like a red, yellow one, a green, an orange one, and a blue one. And I would just wear those. I would wear like that. That was my outfit to school sometimes. And but my dad there was a time when we were we don't like to say broke, we say financially embarrassed. There's a difference. Financially embarrassed. There's a difference.
We were
not broke.
We were very financially embarrassed up until probably like junior year of high school for me, and so there was a lot of actually embarrassed where like my friend would pull into the driveway and she'd be like, you got a new car. And then we realized my dad had spray painted the car because it was so rusted. I do understand financially embarrassed.
Yeah. And I rocked a black pair of Paco jeans on Monday and Wednesday, and a khaki pair of Paco jeans on Tuesday and Thursday. And Friday was Jinko Day.
Yes!
And I would occasionally jump. I had the Osiris D3 2001s with the fat tongue. You know what I'm talking about? You remember them shit? Yeah. I was that kid. And
how wide were the Jenkos? What are we talking?
I had the 26.
Oh, you went for it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sitting on 26s, anything 20 and up. So like that was but those I was doing, like, I was super comfortable with myself because I knew I was different. Maybe there was like, how many other Black students in my graduating class? Maybe like 12.
Wow.
I'm like, maybe more. I don't know. But I knew I was going to be different anyway. And so I was just like, well, that's not going to stop me from just being me. So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on in my life. I'm just trying to figure this shit out. I just want to get involved. So I got involved in as many things as I possibly could.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it was just a way for me to discover what I really was put on this planet to do. So
I
never left school.
Like you and the 12 other Black students, did you guys make a point to try to be in a prison gang together? Like, did you guys try to be buds, or were you just like, you're like, only if you like Superman or Spider-Man as much as I do?
So it was, like I said, it was like, so going, I was talking about earlier, there was like a little senior hill, and around that senior hill, like the flagpole sat atop, and like that's where basically, I guess how would I say, your Freddie Prinze Juniors and your, like your leading men, and like, they were honor students. They were also the hot ones, and which is, and like the football guys, you know what I mean? And like, but I roamed around all in the little subdivisions as well. And I was, and like, I would present, I felt like I was like this in between kind of guy who would, because I had a core group of friends that I'd known since middle school, but I also hung out with a lot of Black and Latino students that were some were seniors, some were juniors and sophomores. So we all like just kind of intermingled, and we used to like, we had a oh my God. We had our own hip hop group.
Yes.
And called you ready? You ready for this shit?
Yes.
We released mixtapes. We burned CDs. The name of our group was Mental Advisory, and that.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
With instead of explicit lyrics, it was exquisite lyrics. So that is a real thing that we did.
I love it.
I honestly think the Tripod GeoCities website is still out there if you can find it. I shit you not, it's probably still up. And so
how many of you were in it?
It was 3. I was Spitfire. There was my boy Nuisance, and my buddy Spill. Like, we called him Spill because he was clumsy as shit. We're still good friends to this day. And then we had like an extended fam. My boy Chicken. We all like his first name was Chicken, but he changed his name like 18 times. I shit you not. And then we had we had Slob.
I feel like I would have been Spill or Slob in this group.
Yeah. And so, but Slob was like an extended core. Like, it's crazy, but we're all still really fucking cool to this day. I still listen to the music. It's on my, like, on those late night drives home from a gig, and I want to like kind of stay awake. If I'm getting tired, I'll put on some old shit from 20 years ago and listen to a 17-year-old version of me talk about getting money. Yeah. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I love it.
But like I was fearless back then. Like I really appreciated it because I didn't really see like obstacles in my way. I really just was like, no, let's just record an album. And they're like, how? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to work on some music and I'll send you guys some beats. And then boom, and we just did it. We always were doing shit.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah, that's.
I want to see.
I don't know if that answered your question, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. We need to see a picture of this band. Like, did you guys do like you had to have done a photo shoot?
Yeah, it's. I'll see if I can find. Like, ask me another question. Let's see if
We
I
can
find
see it.
this
We
shit.
can find it. You can send it to us after.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, oh my god, I think I found it. No. So somebody else came up with the name too. Like it was like, so after the fact, it says mental advisory, intelligent content. And I'm like, that's not us.
I
That's
love it.
that's some other shit. But no, like it's hard to say. We thought we were really doing it back then, but you know,
In a way that like comes with the like immortal feeling of being 17. You're like, yes,
yeah.
I can do absolutely anything.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you're just like, I'm only here for, you see people blow up, you know, and take chances. And I'm like, I watched all the teen movies and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, there were some people that I graduated with that went on to do fantastic things, you know, and there was a great band that they had some guys in a band that I don't even know if they still exist. Hey Stroker, it's still a fucking good punk album. I'm like, this is good, it's quality. And so I grew up in that Orange County, but also close to LA. So there was always just shit going on. I really like, I don't know. It's when you grow up around that, you can't help but be excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what led to almost not graduating?
Oh shit. Okay. So I practically never left school. Like I showed up for 0 period, which was like basically, like there's typically like 1 through 6, you know, you know, I was there for like 0 through 8. And so I had like weightlifting in the morning and then, regular shit during the day. Then I had audio visual. At one point I was on student council. And then I was also in theater and track and field right around the same time. So all of that shit made your boy very tired.
Yeah.
And I just decided not to really go to math class. I just did not. It was 6 period and I would kind of just like either not show up or I'd sleep.
Yeah.
And so I remember, and I don't want to say this teacher's name, but because I love this man. But he wasn't hard of hearing, but if he didn't hear you, he would go, huh? And it didn't matter if it was like, if he was right in front of you or like all the way across the room. If he didn't, if he didn't hear you, he would just go, huh? Like every time. It just startled. And so we would just shout out. We would answer like he'd call out on like who could solve this problem, and we raise our hands with the answer, and I would say it pretty softly, like, you know, the answer is, and sure enough, huh? Like he would just do it every time, and so like we got so I was kind of in trouble for that, and. But then my attendance came through. This was like towards the end of the year. I shit you not, like 2 weeks before graduation, I go to see my guidance counselor and she's like, Jay, you're not going to graduate. I was like, excuse me?
You're like, I'm crushing it. What are you talking about?
I was like,
yeah,
and I like, and you know, I'll say it, but I was very cocky back then. And I don't like, I almost.
Well, you had an album that was about to take off,
right? So listen. I was feeling myself. I was on the school TV show called Diablo Heat. I was voted homecoming king that year. I was in the a production of West Side Story and Sweet Charity. Like I was doing.
You were crushing
good.
literally everything except math.
Right. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not gonna graduate? I'm like blah blah blah, and I wasn't like I was just a mediocre student. I was just like, I do well on tests if I showed up. And so she was like, well, yeah, you got to make up the class. You got to make up math. So now it's crunch time with me and Mr. And so like, so I had to sit there and come in on weekends, stay after school,
Oh my God.
do all of this math. And and not only did I graduate it, I found out the day of that I graduated with honors.
Wow.
I had no idea, but I was an honor student.
Yeah.
But it was the cheat code of honor students because I was an honor thespian because I logged so many hours in drama. So now, like, my last name is Whittaker. So it's a fucking, it's a W. So like they do it alphabetically. So they bumped me up to the top with all the honor kids. I'm meeting people I have never seen before. And they sat me next to a woman. I was like, who the hell are you? And why are you so beautiful? I never seen her before. And I was like, oh my God. So I graduated and they called my name super early and everyone's like, what the fuck? Why is he graduating with the honors? Like, how he never went to class. Like, how did this even happen? And I did. So yeah, honor roll, baby.
Yeah. A scholar.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry. Like, I know I'm way chatty.
No.
And
That's the
I hope
point.
y'all,
That's what we want.
You should be.
Yeah.
but I people look back on high school and yeah, some people, it sucked. It sucked for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It did.
I feel like it sucked for everyone except for you.
But here's the thing though. It with that, it like, trust me, I was going through my own like shit because I was still dealing with like my parents being divorced and
Yeah.
I didn't like going back and forth between neighborhoods and having to, I struggled with the fact that I didn't fit in. I felt like I didn't fit in, but I was doing everything. And
Yeah.
so I was just like, I felt like I was overexerting myself not to fit in, but just to exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I felt like if I didn't do anything, I would just be over there.
There'd be
And so,
nothing to connect you with anybody else.
Thank you. Like, and which is, God, that's, somebody call a therapist, like, I mean, like, it's just,
Listen, everybody needs to call a therapist.
yeah.
Being the most spirited, that's a good reason to have to call.
Right? But I don't know. Like, I don't know what it was like for y'all. Like,
I had, honestly, Jay, a very, very similar. I somehow didn't get voted most spirited, which is irritating. But if you weren't getting so fucking irritated about maybe I would have done it. But I feel like I have run into people now. Like, I started dating someone and I went to a family dinner and I ended up knowing like her cousin, and I was like, oh, I was in a class with the cousin, and then it was like I found out later that the cousin was like, and I'm like, we weren't too close, but it was like I literally haven't seen her since high school. And it turned out the cousin told the whole family, which could have gone either way because the family was really tight. So they were like, you're either in or you're out of this family. And the cousin was like, oh, Katie was like one of the people that was in AP classes, but popular, but still nice to everyone. And she was like one of the only like few people that were like nice to everyone. And so that's what that person experienced. But what I experienced was what you experienced, where I was just like, I don't know. I have all these weird things. Like, I do well in this math, I do well in math. I write well. I like to get drunk. I like to party. I like to play sports, but I'm not good. Like, I was like, I like nerd shit.
Hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And so my experience was yours, where I was just like, there were some people, sometimes I get envious of those people that have one thing that they like, or like a small amount of things that they enjoy, because they get so focused on them and build such like a tight knit community around that. And I was just
Right.
like you, like I was everywhere. Like in my
Right.
early 20s, I was like around my hometown and I could go out and I would go out by myself. And literally I knew I would run into people that I knew and I would just like meet up with
Right.
them through the night because that's how many like different groups of friends I had. And so my high school experience was very similar to that, where I was like, I did have like a core group of girlfriends, but I didn't have like, these are my people, like these are my drama
Yeah.
people, and I'm always with them. It was just like,
Right.
yeah, I know some of the drama kids, or like, you know, yeah, these are my kids from my AP classes, or like at lunchtime, I was like, I could sit on. Our school had 3 cafeterias, and they used to,
Oh, wait, really?
Our school was
3?
really big, yeah. So we had 3 cafeterias, and you could sit wherever you wanted, but these cafeterias were separated like a movie. Like the 3rd floor was the most popular. The senior football guys would sit at that place, and like the most popular people would sit on the 3rd floor, and the 2nd floor was like people that were good at sports, but maybe they weren't like the most popular people. And then the 1st floor was like everyone in my AP classes. Like
That's wild.
And I don't know how that happened, but I remember going to the school and people were like, you're going to want to make sure you eat on the 3rd floor. And I was like, okay. Like, what the fuck?
And that shit like blows my mind. And I if anything, I'm kind of grateful that I grew up in a high school that had an outdoor vibe.
Oh yeah.
'Cause even back through middle school, because it was all just like, all right, you can literally see everyone, except for, you know, there were some of the people that were experimenting early in life. Good for them. Good for them. Yeah, good for them. They learned a lot, you know. But yeah, like it's I wish people had better experiences in high school, because it is so. I feel like my high school experience was very much like a teen movie.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it in a good way.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I had friends that were trying to like sober people up because they got too drunk. There's all those stories, and yeah.
Yeah, I liked high school. I feel like some sort of hybrid of the two, y'all. Like I was very student council. I got voted did most for class, and
which is the most Laura thing.
That's it.
You and I would have worked very well together.
That's
Spirited,
it, right?
like,
you guys would have rolled the school.
Assemblies. Yo, me and Laura would have been all over
there's a thing to plan. Oh, let's do it. But
mine
also,
was like, is it a party?
I did that, as we've discussed. I did that off school grounds. I had my work friends were my party friends, and my school friends were. But I knew a bunch of people through student council. My prom date didn't go to our school. I feel like I was an early adopter of import your dates, and like. I liked it. And there's stuff that sucks too. Like I was smart enough to be in smart kid classes, but like questionable enough to not know if I should be there, but any teacher whose class I wasn't doing well in, I was funny and charming. So the teachers liked me. And so it was like, you're doing really bad and we should talk about this, but it's an honors class and we'll squeak you by, I guess. Like, and I cared. Like I wanted to do well, and I would get very upset if something was hard for me. But then I was also like, at some point, how much can you care? You're gonna do it or you're not. But then I would be like, but I have a lot of friends, so I guess that out.
I was kind of like Jay, where I was like, I'm crushing it. And then I'll never forget my social studies teacher, or it was American history or something. I think it was American history or world history. And it was an AP class. And in New York State, you have to take these big tests called Regents tests. And she goes, I don't think you're going to pass the Regents. And she said it in like such a nasty way that like I still remember to this day. And me and this other kid, we would sit in the back and like crack jokes all the time, and she told both of us, and said it in like such a nasty way that I was like, what? I got like a 98 on it, and it was because she said that.
Yeah.
I was like,
Ooh.
fuck that bitch.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, die slow.
Yeah, and then I actually reconnected with the kid that I used to sit next to like recently, and we both talked about her. We were like, I was like, do you remember her and sitting in that class? And he was like, yeah, I hate her. And we used to call her Triangle Head because she had like a bob that went out on the ends, on the bottoms. And we were not those kind of kids. We literally just hated her. And
I call that hairstyle single lady fashion hair.
Yes.
That's what I call that look.
Yes.
So wait. Real quick, can we take a quick break? Because I need to know more about. I need undivided attention while I. Yes,
Yeah.
I need. All right, quick break.
Ruin their hair forever.
All right, Triangle Head.
Yeah.
Yes, tell me about this rhombus bitch. Like, that's not even a rhombus is a diamond. That's okay. I messed this up. All right,
That's all right. It was good.
Go with it.
No, she just she did what your guidance counselor did, and she was just like, I don't think you're gonna pass this. And you know what? My current attitude in the class and about it, she probably wasn't wrong, but because she said that, like, I was like, you don't know that I have, like, you don't know I have this under control. But like, if she hadn't said anything, I probably would have gotten like a 78. And then I was like, well, now that you said this shit, I'm gonna read, okay?
Yeah.
I remember in trig, and I like just horrendous in math. And I was taking trig, and it was like the first week of class, and we had to go do stuff on the board, and I was like already drowning, and it wasn't just over my head, like I was drowning. And this teacher she's like this tiny little woman covered head to toe in chalk dust, and I just was like faked it until I knew I was going to be embarrassed in front of everybody. And she just went, okay, so I think we have a problem. Like,
I think we have a problem.
I'm gonna hate this woman. And like in a week and a half, I was like, I love her. I can't complete her class. And I like scraped it. I think I got like a D in her class. And then I had enough math credits, and I was supposed to take pre-calc the next semester. And I was like, it's been a great time working with you. I'm done. I'm done with high school math. Like,
thank you for your service.
Yeah.
It was awful, but she was great. But we learned to love each other, and we just like understood it was going to be hard for both of us.
I was not in trig at all. Like the second you said trig, I was like, nope.
I loved trig. I love trig so much. I tutored people in it in college.
That's hot. I'm sorry.
In college, I placed into the lowest math class you could take and still get credit. And we truly spent most of that class, like, if Katie wants chocolate cake and Jay wants cheesecake, but we're only making one cake, where do you draw the line so they both get the same amount of cake? And I was like, all right, I can cut a cake in half. And it was like the first A I've ever gotten in math.
Yeah.
I like didn't understand how bad people could be at math, and then I tutored at this college. Yeah, I just didn't understand. Like your brain when you're young, you're just like everyone's brain is kind of like mine. And then I like started tutoring people, and I'm like, oh, like there's just certain things that people don't get that I just thought everybody got, and I was like, oh, all right, I guess like some people don't get that. And it was definitely eye-opening, just like how different people's brains can be, because you can be so amazing at something else, and then something like math is just like, no.
Yeah. I know, like, and I was that guy, because I was like, you bring me math, and I said, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, I don't want to do it. But you bring me English or world history, U.S. history, and I'm like sitting there. For me, I was big into that. I still am, and so like, History Channel, let's go, let's fucking go. I want the smoke. And so like my friends that would tutor me in math, I would tutor them in history. And so, you know, like that's just what it was. And I to me, like how you were saying, like, how do you just not get math? I'm like, how do you not get history? The shit already happened. Like, it already happened. No. Like,
but people
so-
don't. Yeah.
like, bro, the notes is right there. Like,
Yeah.
I
Right.
loved in college. I loved I ended up with a philosophy minor, very similar to how you honored in theater, where it was like, if you take one more class, you get a
Yeah.
minor, and it was like, yeah, okay, great. And it was like those tests were like, here's a blue book, write anything,
Think about stuff.
and people wouldn't get A's, and I'd be like, what are you could be like. This cat's purple and here's 3 bullshit pages why. And the teachers were just like, if you back it up or like write with enough
Yeah.
passion behind it, and people would be like, I don't know. And be like, I don't know. I don't know how you don't know.
right. I got a question for y'all. Like, what did y'all not participate in high school that you wish you like did? Like, I don't know what, like if you ever saw like a club or a sport
I
that
wish,
you like.
yeah. So in college, I was a pharmacy student. And I think going back to high school, I do wish I had leaned into drama nerds like way, way, way more, because those were the people that would want to write something with you. And I just didn't even understand that was like an option. You know what I mean?
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I wish I had done that. Even though I don't really have a desire. I think my problem was in high school. I was like, well, I don't want to be singing on the stage. Like, I don't want to do that. But there's so much around it that if I had been a part of that, that would have been fun. Creating that.
I
part.
agree with you, because it's like, I was raised around the drama nerds, and they were doing like Shakespeare, and they were, I remember my dad was fucking furious that my senior year they didn't do Othello, which made the logical sense to do Othello when you have the lone black student. And my senior, like,
you're like, I am
you just
made
do
for
it.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, like I can do this. And so my dad was furious about it, but also like I got into like shorts and I really got into like the little one acts that Christopher Guest would do, and like I really got into monologues, and I would do dramatic, and I do a lot of sketches. I love, and like having just people to be on bits with. Like we would do bits. We had ongoing bits for like 6 months. You know, I could talk to these guys 20 years from now and still launch right into this bit like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And so you kind of missed the boat on that, because
I did.
As a comedy nerd, you would have loved that.
Yeah, and that's the thing where like I like made in college I was in pharmacy, so I was like all these people that are like, oh, I chose. Like, it was so cool choosing what classes to take. I'm like, I still don't know what that's like. What do you mean? You got to choose your classes? Right. Like, so I made friends with those people, but in hindsight, I'm like, I should have just been those people instead of going to someone's shows. I should have been part of the show. So that's definitely something that I'm like, oh, I wish I had followed that interest more, instead of just like being afraid of it or just being like, I'm too busy. I wish I had made time. But,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think also probably drama, because I did some stuff when I was younger, and then I just don't think, like, I don't know why I didn't do it, if I was like afraid or didn't like, because I danced, like I was in dance class and stuff, but just theater never took off. And now, like, I mean, I started doing improv when I was 26, and stand up a few years after that, and teach. I taught improv for a long time, and I would see people who started in high school, and my high school didn't have one, but like I remember they started an improv club my last year of college, and I was like, I don't know. And I'm like, God, if I just got 4 years, if I started 4 years earlier, what difference would it have made? If I started 8 years earlier, like I just didn't know it was a thing you could be into, or dare I say do. And I'm like, my heart is like so full for kids who find comedy as kids. That I think is really wonderful. And I would love to be musical. Like I butchered a clarinet through fourth through sixth grade, but if I could play an instrument or sing, I think I'd be on stage.
Oh, if I could have done that, like that, and that's what kept me away from being in drama where I was just like, oh no, I don't sing. Like not
Yeah.
even
I don't sing either.
recognizing there's other things. No, I know, but in my mind I was just like, I don't sing.
Yeah.
I didn't sing, and I didn't play an instrument. Like I knew how to play like a little bit of keys. That was about it. But I liked performing. Like
Yeah.
and plus like because I had my my rap group that was destined
Yeah.
to go magnesium,
Sure.
and like we were I just liked being on stage. Like I remember I did oh my god, like I did the what I like to call the world cipher. Where where MCs they get together, they cipher, they freestyle together. So this was the world cipher. I mean, this was like, yeah, okay, I should have. I understand why I got most spirited now because like I realized like because I printed out flyers for the world cipher and handed it to
Sounds
as many
pretty
groups and
spirited.
as many clicks as possible because I knew there were more MCs and we had people that were from like the band geeks that showed up. We had people that like were honor students that were really fucking shy show up just to freestyle. We had one kid who was he was in the special needs and he had bars for days and like the fucking confidence that he had was insane. And so like it was just we had people that were actually expelled from school. They heard about it and they were going to the secondary school, Silverado. They showed up.
Wow.
And like
Yes.
and so like I was just all about fucking performing, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like I got involved in improv early, but then I didn't know that was a thing. I just was like, I think this is a thing. I didn't know
Yeah.
it was something like you could do like at a high level.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So I only did it for like 2 months and I was like, I'm going to go play football.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
I don't know. But yeah, those are go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying those were good times. Those were good times. Learning about who you are and being funny. Fuck it.
It didn't suck. Personally speaking, I'm glad it's done. And I feel like I learned a few things. But educational and like life educational.
Yeah.
I brain dumped so much shit.
Yeah.
I brain dumped a lot of shit from high school. Like
It's just not there.
it's not. I've never had to solve for X. What the fuck?
No, like that can go fuck it.
Guys, I still do that.
How to talk to people.
Oh, I do I do remember circumference, radius, diameter. That shit, like I will. I know that's wow. I'm bragging to people who, like I'm bragging about this. Wow, but that's about as much as I remember.
Pythagorean theorem I still got, and
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah,
And like
triangle face.
yeah,
Because of
triangle face, triangle head.
No, I still use math. But yeah, guys. Like I could tell people, like once I learned what the actual size of a board was, I was like, oh, I can design how to build that and it will work. I like don't have the skill to do the building, but I can draw you out exactly where all the cuts need to be made and everything, and it will work because it's just math. Yeah.
Okay. Most, like, you think about going back, what do you think about, like, I'm sorry, I'm asking y'all questions.
Yeah, that's okay.
Is it though?
Yeah.
but I mean, like, what was like the most cringeworthy thing? Like, you think about it, like, you know how you like you don't remember shit, but then you think about this one thing, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that or said that.
Do you know yours, Laura?
Yes.
Oh, you know yours, Jay? What is yours?
Yeah,
Because in high school, I think I just felt so cringe all the time that no moment like stands out. Like because I would just felt like I'm trying to remember high school. I felt pretty good I have a memory of 8th grade. I used to have a gap in my teeth, and I remember talking to this older guy and being so distracted that about my gap. Like, it was the dumbest fucking thing. And I literally remember talking to him and being so distracted about the gap in my teeth that I was like, I need to have braces. Like, I remember that conversation. And this is from a person who was wearing like a bright green floral dress from the 70s that she bought at Salvation Army. But I was like, I got to fix the gap. Like, it's making my blue lipstick look weird. Like,
it's making my blue.
I remember that.
I'm going to pray for you.
Yeah, it was like, I got the braces, so I'm doing okay.
In middle school, I got my period through my overalls one day, and it was like I'll never forget how embarrassing that shit felt. And no one was mean to me. Like, I don't know who knew, but in my head they like said it over the announcements, you know. And then in high school, there was a teacher who I loved, and he was like young and what I thought was cool, and nothing happened, but I wish old adult me wishes for teen me that she knew about boundaries. And that I thought we were closer to peers than we were. And I would have loved to be like, men are dangerous and bad, and you can do better. So
I was already like that because we had a teacher that taught Photoshop, and we used to lean over you on the computer. And I remember one time he was leaning so his head was next to my head to look at my computer thing, and he used to like rub people's shoulders. And he went to rub my shoulders, and I go, "Oh no, you don't touch me!" Like, and then I found out years later he got arrested for having a sexual / romantic relationship with a girl who was younger than me. Gross. And this guy was already like, I must have been in his 40s or 50s at that point.
Yeah. To my knowledge, this person never did anything, and I think he knew what boundaries were. Like, but I think
you just had a crush.
I was like, what if I keep talking to you like we hang out all the time? And he was like, no. So I was like, okay, got it.
And I remember a cringe moment from high school. I was at a party. I was in 8th grade, or I was in 9th grade. So our high school was so big, it only fit 10, 11, 12. And I went to like a senior party when I was a freshman, maybe. So I got driven there, and I was talking to a senior from another high school, and I was like, whatever it was, I remember I was like saying something that I thought was like really cool or like funny or something. So I was like, like doing whatever, it was funny. And I took the cup and I went to drink out of it, and I put my mouth on I was so drunk, I put my mouth on the wrong side of the cup, and I just spilled the whole beer down the front of me. And I remember I went
lipstick and a gap.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yes. And I was like, oh no. And I like tried to play it cool, and the guy, like, I don't even remember that he said anything else. I know he left. He got up and left. And I was like, all right, see you later. I'll see you around when this dries. Bye.
I wonder where he is now.
I don't know. I think he went to get a towel.
Never came back.
He never came back.
He's at the cigarette store. They also sell towels. You know?
Yeah. There's a lot of dads there in line. So,
what's yours?
So my cringeworthy. There's a couple, and I will keep it brief. But the times that I look back on in high school were in junior high. So junior high, I knew this was like my first go at things. And mind you, our mascot was the Lobos. So we're the Wolves. And so my dad was like trying to get me more involved. And so they had a contest one day at school where they wanted to see who had the best howl. And they played it on the morning announcement. So I go to I went to and I challenged an 8th grader and Principal Escamilla. How the fuck do I remember this? But
I don't
like,
know.
yeah, but like I did the morning howl and I beat the 8th grader and I thought I was like, yeah, guys, I've arrived.
Yeah.
You know,
Make
not
way,
good at sports
clear the
yet, not
halls.
good at sports yet, but your boy can howl. They played that shit on the morning announcements all year for 2 years, like 7th and 8th grade. So every time I heard the morning announcement, oh, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, and it just like, and everyone would just death stare me every morning. And they're like, and because it was so annoying and so corny, and everyone was just like, you did this. So I would just skip homeroom. I would just be like, no, I'm not going. And so, and then this one makes me laugh. So early, like freshman year, I get on the football team. You play football. That's what you do. And this girl I had a big crush on, like big crush on. It was, I was shy to talk to her. Like I did okay, but like, man, the second I started talking to her, and I had the little fucking sleeveless, shirt with the little cutoff, like a little, yeah, it looked like a jocks training bra. Like it was just, the bro training bro or whatever, and so I learned how to bench press and all that stuff, and I could do like the bar with like maybe a 45 on it. I did it like one time, and I was like, ooh,
You're like, look at me.
And so right, and I'm like flexing and all this stuff. I'm thinking I'm like hot shit, and she saw me as I came out of practice, and I'm like, oh shit, this is like a TBS movie. This is happening. I'm on the football team. Hot girl is like, and she's like, how much you bench? And I was like, the bar and some plates. I said some plates. I didn't even know the number. And so she's like, you're getting big. And so like, my dad picks me up. I'm like, Dad, we got to go to GNC. So he's like, and he's all proud because he's like, my son's on the football team. He's like, this is, and so I like, Dad, I need to gain weight. I need to get jacked. And so he buys me all the Metrics weight gainer you could possibly have. And I did not read the instructions the next day.
Oh no.
And so I find out that I had double the dose with whole milk all before second period.
Oh no.
All day. Just brown bag, if you're an improv person, just brown bagging it all day, and just I was late to every series, and I found out I was late to every single class, and I just could not stop going to the bathroom.
Oh my God!
And I basically found out I was lactose intolerant.
What a way to find out.
Yeah, and it was all to like impress.
Yeah.
And impress this woman. And
was there a payoff?
Huh? Was there a payoff? 15 years later? Yes.
What?
Like no, what? Like maybe. Yeah, maybe. When did I graduate? Okay. Yeah, like about 14, 15 years later. Yeah. And
that is nice. Crazy.
Hey, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Like
she doesn't know that part of the story.
She doesn't know the poo-poo pants part.
She doesn't know the poo-poo pants part, but we met up one night after a gig, and
Oh my God.
It was crazy because I was in town doing a show, and she came all the way out and visited, and I was like, all right, I guess this is happening. And I'm like I'm in the bathroom, like psyching myself up, and I'm like, dude, are you really about to like do this shit? And I'm like, yeah, did you bring a condom? And I'm like, oh my God. Anyways,
she's like, I made us a creamy pasta dish and some double churned ice cream.
No, the best part was she's vegan now, so like, it was very gluten-free diet. It was great.
You're like, thank God.
Thank God. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cringe. It's cringe with it's
That's cringe with a happy ending. That's nice.
Yeah,
It's a
with happy
spirited
ending.
cringe.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Spirited cringe. Yeah, I like that.
That's awesome. So Jay,
Yes,
where can people find you?
They could find me, just hanging out in the quad,
Yeah. On the hill. Yeah, he floats around, so you're gonna have to go to all the different groups.
you can find me at worldcipher.com. No, I'm joking. Just jaywhitaker.com. I used to be active. I had a podcast, Big Little Kid, where we also talk about childhood and our favorite toys. It was more like a toy review. So I'm getting ready to start that up with a new co-host coming up soon. But the biggest place people can find me, jaywhitaker.com, at It's Jay Whittaker on all your socials, and check me out on Geek Show Podcast. If you're a fucking gamer, if you like Star Wars, if you really want to know what's going on with Loki on Marvel, Disney Plus, all that shit, that's where your boy and some friends sit down. It's like Wu-Tang Clan for geeks. So
I'm gonna have to tell my boyfriend, because we are a Loki household, and we are a gamer household. We have
we do we don't really get into we don't really get into like some we do. We have a video games guy, we have a film critic, we have a radio host, we have a great TV guy, and we also have a guy who's more of a gamer, but it's more tabletop gaming, but he also streams now, and I'm more just like there just for music and culture.
You're the
and comedy
spirit.
There we go. How about that?
I would be remiss if I didn't say that I'm willing to bet a lot of money that there's not a desk in my middle or high school to this day that doesn't have a Wu-Tang symbol carved into it.
Probably.
Look, it's tattooed on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it when I was 36 too. Got it when I was 36. With one of my best buddies from high school, my cameraman, Brad Harris from Diablo. He was my cameraman. We decided to get Wu-Tang tattoos on his 36th birthday. That's some real shit right there.
Commitment.
I love it.
Yeah.
So find me there, and World Cipher. I might bring back the World Cipher.
Yeah, do it.
Comics, though.
Why not?
All right, you guys, and don't forget, subscribe, review, follow us. We're on I was gonna say your social media. Follow Jay on It's Jay Whittaker. Yeah, then also follow us on Pinky Promise Pod. And yeah.
I'm so sorry. One last thing.
Yeah.
Full Feather Friday. Please support it. It's a stupid bird show that I do.
You really do everything.
I do a no reason bird show on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook called Full Feather Friday. It's not fool like foolery, but just full, like you're empty and full. Full Feather Friday. I hold your family hostage for 1 minute and just yell bird facts at them. It's great and it's fun for the whole family. And I like birds. I want to tell you about it.
I actually love your bird show on TikTok.
It's so fun. It has no fucking point. I make no money.
I love it.
Tremendous.
I make no money.
We're going to put links to everything that Jay just talked about so you guys can check it out. He's got something for everyone.
I'm so poor. I'm not making money off these birds.
Please go buy something.
Buy some bird merch.
Support this bird.
And that's amazing. It for us.
Yeah, that's it for us, you guys. Pinky Promise Pod on all the stuff. Please subscribe. Please review. Please send your stuff to a friend. Please support Jay. Find your squad. Find your prison squad. All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh my God, this was so goddamn fun.